Well, hello there and welcome back to this F1 2020 My Team Driver Career Mode, as I try to bring some glory to the Minardi team that disappeared off the grid 15 years ago. Nick De Vries sits opposite us, so that was a weird thing that Cole said there, saying that we haven't negotiated a contract. We done it the first time. It was nice and easy for him. We now have a decent, I think probably the best free agent in the driver market, who is now our teammate, and will focus quite a lot of time on improving his stats. So here we are then at Austria. The weather forecast, a bit overcast with some sun in FP1. FP2, FP3 is going to be nice and sunny. Same for the race, 36 laps. Again, a little bit of cloud cover in qualifying. Some messages. Weekend preview from Cole. And the weather forecast, you can see there, we're going to get some rain towards the end of qualifying, maybe even the middle point of qualifying. So once we get to that session, it's going to be incredibly important to get out early to try and set our best lap. So the rivalry then, for whatever reason, this hasn't sort of sorted itself out yet. I'm not too sure why. Hopefully it should do after this weekend. We only need 1 point to get to 30 anyway, which will do if we complete qualifying. Even if we qualify last, we'll get 1 point for completing it. That will get us to 30. So pretty much this rivalry with Russell is done with. That's fine. As for our driver details, total points 12, average finish P15, average grid now up into P18, but I think it's been that way for a little while. So R&D, so we know we're getting some bits hopefully put onto the car. Between here and Silverstone, you can see there we've got 2 minor upgrades for the energy store and the electrical systems, which we do need, and also 1 for the engine power. But progress history between France and Austria, well, nothing from the top 3, in fact nothing from most of the teams. Looks like Renault have had a little bit of an upgrade. Haas continue to upgrade as well, so the gap between us and Haas is extending a little bit, but crucially nothing from Williams. So a bit of a slow few days there between France and Austria. As for the power units, units number 3 we're using here, but I'll bump on units number 1 for the entirety of FP1, and then I'll mix around with units 2 and 3 for FP2 and FP3 to try and get some practice programs done. You can get some practice programs done using battered engine components. For example, the track acclimatization should be an easy one, possibly the tyre wear one, or even the fuel one as well. Gearbox, practice gearbox 5%, so that's okay. Event gearbox 19% as we come into the 3rd of 6 weekends. That's fine as well. Weekend allocation, I've gone for the softest compound again, so a couple of sets of mediums to use in FP1, and then FP2 and FP3 will be focused on some soft running. So at Austria, one of my favourite circuits, a very, very short lap as well. Blink of an eye, you complete it. There's only about 9 or 10 corners. Most are pretty easy to do. So I'll go away now to do FP1 off camera, work out a setup for myself, pound some laps in, and see where we are at the end of the session. So FP1 ends, and we're in a pretty good place, to be honest with you. You can just see us there at the bottom of the timing screens, well, bottom of the top half anyway, just 1.1 seconds off of Ricardo, actually, who set the fastest lap. So yeah, we scroll down there, Bottas on the hard tyres. You can see there that we're comfortably in the midfield. Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Grosjean, all of these guys down at the bottom as well. Stroll's on the hard tyres, so we'll ignore that lap time. Same for Latifi, but Nick De Vries then struggling a little bit, I think. This is his debut, of course, and he's better than Giotto, but not as good as Latifi yet. So of course we have to continue his development to try and get him up a little bit. But yeah, we ran FP1 there with the old units. Units number 1 for everything, so they were pretty much, you know, wrecked. Most of them are 60s, 70s. I think even a turbocharger was in the 80% range, and yeah, we set a lap time that was good enough for 14th place. So once we move on to the better power units, we should be able to find more pace and speed, and maybe even improve our lap time as well. I did the track acclimatization, got purple in that straight away. So that's 1 practice program we've done. And yeah, Austria's always been a track that I've gone very well at as well. It is a fairly easy circuit, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. It's not massively technical, let's say, like your Japans, your Singapores, for example, and a few other circuits out there. But to be on the pace and comfortably in the midfield with everyone on the medium tyres around us, as you can see, with the old units as well, is very promising going ahead into FP2. So again, I'll do FP2 off the camera. I will change over to some better power units and try to do a couple of more practice programs and see if we can improve our pace and somehow get into the 107s. So FP2 ends, you can see there P13, a 107.189, nearly 2 seconds off of Vettel, but a lot of drivers were on the soft tyres. Bottas, Leclerc on the mediums. But we was ahead of Giovinazzi by half a tenth, and then 7 tenths back to George Russell and everyone else on the softs and medium tyres as well. We have good pace here. We are legit midfield pace here. The units are using this as a mix of units number 1 and number 2, which is why we've managed to set a faster lap time as well. So we're not using our best units just yet. We will use them in FP3. As for practice programs, we've got purple in the tyre management, the fuel management, and the ERS management program. But I had to use 3 sets of soft tyres for all 3 of them. So we only have 1 fresh set of soft tyres going into FP3. So I've got to make a decision whether to do the race strategy or the qualifying sim program. But we're completing all these programs, very easily, to be honest with you. I mean, the ERS one was, we was well inside the purple. And we completed it like a second inside the delta. Same for the ERS management and the tyre management as well. It was all comfortably purple, all within the delta time. So we could be on for a decent weekend here, to be honest with you, on pure pace alone, not just strategy and lucky safety cars. Because the only 2 races we've scored points in so far, Zandvoort and Spain, has been because we've been lucky with the safety car. But here I think we have an outside chance of a point or 2 on pace alone, which is nice. And Nick de Vries, you can see ahead of Grosjean, both running these soft tyres, and he was just a tenth off of Russell. So Nick de Vries, and obviously a better acquisition than Giotto was. But for us personally, we're doing okay here, and this could be the most competitive weekend that we have had so far. So 20 minutes left of FP3. Nice and sunny conditions. We'll have a look at the lap times then, see if anyone is on a quick one at the moment. De Vries is still in the garage, so not many lap times at the moment. A 7.1 we did, which would put us around where Raikkonen is. We're now on to our best units, I should say, once we leave the garage. And the setup, I might as well show you that as well. That will be running. Fuel is irrelevant. We're going to try and complete 2 of the practice programs in this session. Aerodynamics 4.6 for the wings, transmission 60%, suspension geometry to the right and to the left as usual, suspension 4.35556, brakes 154, tyres we were left bang in the middle, and it seems to be working for us because obviously we have some quite a few right hand corners, but we have the 2 fast left handers in the middle of sector 2. So setup feels okay. You can see there purple in the track acclimatisation, time management, fuel management, ERS management. We'll give a qualifying pace program a go now. We only have 1 fresh set of soft tyres, so if we can manage to at least get green in this one on the first lap, then excuse me, then we'll use the same set to try and get the race strategy program done as well, and try to claim as many resource points as we can. So we'll drive out of the garage. I'm pretty sure I've selected the best tyres that we've got. And Austria is a very quick circuit. I'll be expecting the qualifying times. I mean, it's going to be weather afflicted, but I'll be expecting them to be in the high 104s as we come out behind one of the Williams. Oh no, sorry, it's the Mercedes of Hamilton. Now onto the circuit. And turn all our fuel and EOS down, and we'll forget to brake for turn 3. Technically turn 2, but it is known as turn 3. That little kink up the hill is known as turn 2. So we have got a fresh set of tyres. These are the power units then that will be running for the rest of this weekend. The MGU-H, the internal combustion engine, the MGK, and traction control, sorry, turbocharger, all relatively new. The energy store and the electronic system as well. Obviously their units number 2, which have gained quite a few miles. So we've got a good gap behind and in front of us as well. Nearly 8 temps up. This should be purple. It is P1 as well. We've gone P1. Oh, that's brilliant. Everyone now on their qualifying programs, and we've gone P1. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. So a very slow lap back to the pits. So we're out then on the used set of soft tyres to see if we can try and get this practice program done. This is the race strategy one, so we need to be within the delta time for 3 laps. Ideally the first 3 laps if we can. Which I think, to be honest, it should be easily achievable. I'm still P1 in this session. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So entering out of the final corner. Open up the DRS. Almost a second up. And that is purple. We have completed all the practice programs in purple as well. All of the team objectives have been completed. And a lot of resource points will be coming our way once the session ends. We'll complete the final 2 laps though. Try and get some data for the team. So there we go then, the final classification for FP3, P1 was, oh, I don't know, I'll take it, I'll take it. I mean, Science was 3rd, Grosjean was 4th as well, so I don't know, but yeah, we'll take it anyway. We've got a good pace here. I'm looking forward to both the qualifying and the race session. So most people are on qualifying sims, as we were. De Vries down in 19th place, so he was quicker than AlphaTauri and considerably quicker than both Latifi and George Russell, surprisingly a long way off at the back. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Fastest in FP3. Who would have expected it? So the resource points, 605 from us, 140 from Nick De Vries, puts us from 42 up to 787, which is nice. Team acclaim, 14 or 16% for me, up into level 8, 12% for Nick De Vries. A combined total of 28% for the team. Getting close to level 11 now. Hopefully we can improve Nick De Vries in the next few races. So back at the workstation and before the qualifying session, there's some message there from Jeff about the Spielberg circuit. The weather though hasn't really changed, so we have to get out there nice and early if we can. We might be able to get 2 runs in before the rain arrives. It's going to be incredibly crucial to nail our first lap, because once that rain arrives, then the qualifying session will pretty much be over. So then we'll have a look at the units then. Obviously we're now on to the best units that we've got, but at some point we're going to have to order some new ones and take a grid penalty. I don't want to do it here at Austria because we seem to have genuine midfield pace. As for the gearbox, the event gearbox now 21%, and we're halfway through the 3rd weekend, so again, as I keep saying, there's no reason to worry about the gearbox. But we'll go then to the qualifying session, and hopefully we can secure a nice midfield grid spot. I mean, I'm not aiming for 19th as I usually do, but anywhere between, I don't know, if we're somewhere around P15, P16, I think I'll take it really, because I think these guys will improve going into the qualifying session. It's going to be crucial when that rain arrives. We have to get out as soon as possible. Okay, so here we are then at the very beginning of qualifying. Usually I'll leave it a minute or 2. We'll just see when this rain is going to arrive. It's going to get overcast 15 minutes in. And it's still overcast as well, so it can actually be a full dry session. Oh, there's the rain, 30 minutes in. I'll expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Yeah, got to do this. Got to turn the audio settings on for Jeff, so we know exactly what's going on. Okay, cool. Right, so 10 to 15 minutes from now. There's enough time there to get out for a couple of runs at least. Car setup, can't remember if I showed you or not what running, but it's 4.6 on the wings. Nice and low. Transmission 60-60. Suspension geometry, camber and toes as normal. Suspension 4.3, 5.5, 5.6. Brakes 154. Tyre pressures are actually left in the middle. Seems to be balanced quite nicely.
before it gets busy.
Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get out there nice and early. Usually we don't go out until about 15 minutes left of a session. But I want to get a banker in. Mr. Rain is expected to arrive 10 to 15 minutes, so we'll say it's going to be 10 minutes. And it's being a scrappy lap. Over the line then. So 106.185 puts us ahead of our teammate. But that'll be about it. So then, slow tour back. So coming back out the pits then. 9.5 minutes left of a session. We're doing our obligatory second run whilst the track is quiet. The rain is holding off actually. It looks like it could be a fully dry session, or we might get a bit of rain at the very end. Looks like Nick De Vries is coming back out on circuit as well. So both of the Minardis are the only cars out on the circuit at this present moment. Down in 19th place. What a surprise. 3 tenths off of Norris. You can definitely find 3 tenths. Even in turn 3 alone where we ran wide. And down here as well was a little bit scrappy. Last couple of corners were okay. I definitely feel that we can improve. Come on. I lost a bit of time on the final couple of corners, but it is an improvement. P16, less than 200ths away from 15th. In fact, less than 200ths away from 14th as well. We really are in the midfield here. Austria has always been a good circuit for me. So 2 minutes left of the session. We can have a look at the standings very, very quickly. We still remain in P16. Put on another set of fresh soft tyres. So let's get out there straight away. Rain is due very, very soon. By the time we come out the pit lane, there should be about 1.5 minutes left, maybe a little bit more. Plenty of time to get round. Right.
30 seconds left in the session.
Here we go. Perez is a bit close behind, but we'll have to work with it. Don't try it, Sergio. Tenth and a half up. Three attempts. Come on. Half a second up. Come on. Believe it or not, starting in P10 is probably the worst position we could have qualified, because that means that we have to start on the set of soft tyres that we just ran on that final lap, which is going to throw the race strategy out of sync a little bit, just by a couple of laps, but it does mean that we're going to be starting on a used set of soft tyres. But, however, to be P10, that's definitely our best qualifying of the season so far, so I'm very happy with that. We probably could have found, I mean, we needed, nearly a tenth and a half there to get ahead of Ricardo. Over 2 attempts to get Gasly in 8th. That was never going to happen, really. I was put off a little bit in the first couple of corners by Perez, but once I exited turn 3, or if you like, the real turn 2, I wasn't worried about him. Yeah, maybe I lost a bit of time there thinking about Perez behind me so close, but it's P10, which is definitely the best result we've had of the season so far. It would have been nice if we was P11 and had a fresh set of tyres. It's going to be interesting who carries what going into the race. But Bottas has taken pole, 4 tenths ahead of Verstappen at his team's home race. Hamilton, Vettel, Leclerc and Albon complete the top 6. And it's Sainz, Gasly, Ricciardo and ourselves in 10th. Behind us, Grosjean, Kvyat, Ocon, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Perez down in 16th. So we kind of held him up a little bit, but I don't care. Raikkonen, Stroll, Norris down in 19th. Not a good session from him. But a bit of a gap, half a second back to George Russell, who managed to outqualify Nick de Vries, who in turn managed to outqualify Latifi by 1,000th of a second. I'm not too worried by the fact that Nick de Vries is not really showing any improvement compared to Giotto. We'll have plenty of time to improve Nick de Vries' stats. Basically, any opportunity I've got to increase his stats, I will definitely take, because he's probably the best driver really from the F2 bunch. But for our own performance, P10, I'll take it. Very, very happy. And that pretty much confirms the pace that we've had all weekend in qualifying to start inside the top 10. So our team claim, 16% for me, 12% for Nick de Vries, 28 combined total. So hopefully after the race, if we have a good race, Nick de Vries will be close to 7 and the team in total will be close to level 11. So when qualifying's all done, we're back at the workstation now. Had a couple of had a couple of questions from Claire, who hosts the interviews. One of them was, who do you see as your biggest rival at the moment? Because we've completed the one against Russell. The options to me were Gasly and Kvyat on medium difficulty in the Toro Rosso, my God, I'll get it right eventually, in the AlphaTauri. Ricciardo as a medium difficulty in the Renault, and Norris as a hard difficulty in the McLaren. I chose Ricciardo, so we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not confident of beating him. We're going to need a couple of really good, strong qualifying and especially race performances against him. We need Ricciardo to retire from a couple really to help us out. So the race, 36 laps, nice and hot and sunny. Pre-race message there from Jeff. The strategy for this race is just like any other. Nail the start, lead out of turn 1, win by miles. Any questions? Not happening, but we'll try our very best. So, not really much else to look at. You can see our rivalry of Ricciardo. His affinity is a level 12. He's yet to win a rivalry actually. He lost his first one against whoever it was. We're 1 for 1 at the moment. Don't think it's going to be good for 2 for 2. Driver details, our average grid has gone up now to 17 instead of 18, thanks to our P10 that will be starting at least P10 unless other drivers take penalties. Also the second question I had enabled me to improve the morale a little bit for the chassis department, so we might try and do a cheeky upgrade over there after this race if we can. As for the units, the ICE is at 15%, 15, 16, 61 for the energy store, 18 for the turbocharger, 41 for the electronics. So the energy store and the electronics are starting to struggle a little bit, but we'll have to carry them into the race, otherwise we take grid penalties. Event gearbox, 23%, and we're halfway through now the third of 6 weekends, so I'm not really worried by that. So nothing else left to do, so we go to the race and look at the introduction, the grid formation as well, see if anyone around us has penalties, and then pay attention to the race strategy screen, bearing in mind that we're locked in to starting on a used set of soft tyres.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Albon. Sainz, Gasly, Ricciardo and Lee, Grosjean, Kvyat, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Lance Stroll and Lando Norris, Russell, Latifi, Raikkonen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Nick de Vries. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So we remain on the grid in P10, and I know we've already scored points this season, but I was just sitting there going through the grid order there, and I felt a bit like Pascal Wehrlein, who in the 2016 Austrian Grand Prix put the manor, qualified in, I think it was 11th, but started 10th because someone ahead had a penalty, and he finished 10th, picked up a point. So it's going to be difficult today, because there's about 4 or 5 cars behind us that were within a 10th in qualifying. We was a couple of tenths away from getting up into P9, but we are in 10th. 2 grid penalties out there, one already for Nick de Vries, so his debut in the Formula 1 is not going too well, but he would have started 20th because Raikkonen also got a penalty, so he's starting at the back, so it's not a massive loss. Another thing, for the eagle-eyed viewers out there, if you did notice, a cookie will be dispatched to your location forthwith, because there's been a new patch between qualifying and the race, which took me 5 minutes to install on the game, so it was fine. The long-awaited all-black livery that Mercedes are now sponsoring this year in real life in support of Black Lives Matter is now on the game. The livery change was done just a bit too late, really, for Codemasters to get it on the game. I think it released. In fact, it might have even come out like 2 days after release. Codemasters promised that. We'll try and get it done as soon as possible. They have done it. It's installed. It's on the game. So if we do see a Mercedes out there, you would have seen it on the grid. The grid rundown that both Bottas and Hamilton now in their all-black racing ovals instead of the usual silver that we see from Mercedes. So if we do see a Mercedes on track, it will look a little different, but I think everyone's quite a fan of that all-black livery. I certainly am. I think it looks nice and cool. Anyway, the race strategy, starting P10, softs onto hards. I don't know. I mean, soft, medium could be a bit better, so we'll go for that one, because we are starting on a used set. Fuel, it's going to be pretty funky around here with these long straights, and if we do decide to go for a 2-stop strategy, I want 3 laps worth of extra fuel. I think that could work. Okay, we'll go, it'd be a bit heavy, but we'll go 3 laps worth of extra fuel, because when we're not using rich mix, or overtake mode I should say, ERS will be using rich mix, certainly in sector 1 and sector 3 really as well, where it's pretty much straights and a couple of tight corners. So there we go then, we're going for soft, medium. It's an aggressive 2-stop strategy. So we'll start the formation lap, starting in P10, plenty of cars behind.
Okay, how was the...
Lay down a bit of rubber.
You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
So starting on a used set of tyres does traditionally give us a little bit of extra grip additionally. You can see there 5 and 7% all round, so this is the qualifying set that we use to set our lap for P10. We've also got a engine wear concern. It is the energy store system that's now running at 61%. We'll be okay. We'll definitely see the end of the race. So a slight issue there, but I'm sure that we can get by with it pretty nicely. It's going to be crucial off the start to not necessarily gain positions, but at least hold P10 and try and stay with these guys. I think I am quicker than Gasly and Ricciardo in long run. I'm a bit worried by the guys behind. Raikkonen would have been in, I think, 11th or 12th, but obviously he's starting on the back road because of his penalty. And there's about 4 or 5 guys that were within a 10th of us in qualifying. It was that close, really, between like 10th and 15th. So that could be a little bit of an issue. But we'll enjoy it anyway. Austria is one of my favourite circuits, along with Bahrain and Spain. And Bahrain was, I think, a decent result at the beginning of the season. And Spain, of course, we've had our best result of the season so far. Very close, actually, at one point to a podium. But we settled for a couple of positions lower. So the AI car now takes us to our grid spot on the right-hand side, the inside for turn 1, which I think could be a bit of an advantage, just as long as we don't lock up and cream into someone and damage our car. So we need to keep it clean. We need to at least hold position.
The rest of the grid is forming up.
And we need to stay calm.
Watch for the lights.
Here we go. Wish me luck, boys. Get off me, Gasly. Oh, I've been punted up the rear. Someone's hit me up the rear. Have we got any damage from that? Because we made contact with Science. No, we're fine. We're clear. I got a nice dirty little tap there from behind. Didn't need that, but we're up to P7. It was a little scrappy, but I definitely felt a bump. You might have seen it visually on screen. So someone behind us has wing damage, definitely, because the yellow flag was out, and we've gained 3 positions, which is, to be honest, a bit of a dream start here. We've got Albon behind. Probably won't really fight him too much. It's all about now just hammering these laps. These are basically going to be, it's going to be 36 qualifying laps here if we're going to do this 2-stop strategy. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, lap 1 is completed. So coming through to complete lap 2. I'm giving a little squirt of the overtake button along the 3 main straights. And then rich mix from pretty much the final corner all the way to turn 4. DRS is now enabled. We're not going to get it from Sainz. We're in a bit of danger from Albon and Gasly. 3 DRS zones here along the first 3 main straights. So pretty much all of the action is going to be in the first third of this lap. But if we keep doing what we're doing, I think it's a decent little strategy we got here for ourselves. Just focus and try not to make any mistakes. So we're just coming up to complete lap 5. I've got Albon behind me, Gasly close behind as well, but we've dropped the 2 Renaults who are running in 10th and 11th as we just run wide a little bit there. I think Albon might try something into turn 1. No, he's going to be too far back. We're doing okay. 4 drivers have actually pitted in the first few laps. Nick De Vries is being in. There's an Alfa Romeo Haas and I believe an Alfa Tauri as well. So obviously there was a bit of a concertina effect on the braking zone for this corner on lap 1, and we got a nudge from behind, which fortunately hasn't affected us. If the energy store is starting to struggle a little bit, and that does affect our ERS deployment and how much we can save and how much we can use. But so far the tyres feel okay still. So definitely on for the 2-stop strategy, maybe even a 1 if we can keep looking after these tyres. So if Albon and Gasly get past us, I'm not too worried. So we've got a gap to the Renaults behind. Into lap 9. Lap times are starting to fall off a little bit. But we are gaining on Sainz a little bit. And we're holding a decent gap to Albon and Gasly behind. So we're just going to keep going for now. The longer we go in this race, the better opportunity we got of maybe doing a 1-stop. I still think the 2-stop is probably the best one for us. So we can just keep pounding out these qualifying laps. I'm now not using ERS. Down this straight here, as you can see, because we have a good enough gap, so we can save a little bit extra. If we go a little deep, and we'll be okay. So far, it's so good. Just keep pushing away. Okay, Lance Stroll is at the race. Oh, we got a safety car.
Safety car, safety car. No overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. Okay, slow down, slow down.
Okay, this is good. This is fine.
Which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Let's see if Jeff offers it to us. No. Medium? No, we're going hard. We're going hard because we can save a couple less behind the safety car. We can also save quite a lot of fuel, quite a lot of ERS as well. So, right.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
So Nick's coming in now. That might work well for him towards the back of the field.
We can't take you right now. Pit in next lap.
Oh, no, you will. You will take me. That sounded rude, didn't it? I can't lose position here. Come on, Nick, get out the garage. Come on, we've got to wait for him to get out. Wait for that red marker at the bottom there to disappear.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of the
Cool,
lap.
we're in now. Don't speed either. Right, we won't lose any positions, I don't think. We had to back the field up a little bit just to make sure we could get in, so the team could service me. Hopefully we don't hold us up in the pit lane. We're going on to hard tyres. Come on, in and out, boys. In and out. Oh, that was slow.
Go. Exit now. We're racing on the exit. Release.
Oh, and
release.
we've kind of ghosted into Ocon there, and we've got other cars coming through. Ricardo's jumped us, but he's on the softs. Gasly ahead is on the softs as well. So I don't know whether... It'll be interesting to see if some of these people have... I mean, surely the hard tyres would be the strategy to do. Surely it would be. Okay then, so I've had a look, and here's the update. Ricciardo and Gasly are on the soft tyres. Everyone ahead of us has made a change onto the hards. Most people behind have made a change onto hards. There's 3 people further back, Raikkonen and Russell, who I think are P14, P15, and Grosjean, who's P18, have made a change onto softs. Nick De Vries, our teammate, you can see there at the back of this safety car train, he's going to catch up to it sooner rather than later. He's made the change onto hards as well. So there's a few positions to be had for a teammate, although it won't really affect things too much.
Safety car in this lap.
That's a late call.
Those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
We have an opportunity for P7 here. And here we go again.
Okay, clear. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
As Jeff said there, DRS is now back in effect. We're close to breaking that from the guys behind, actually. A good couple of laps here so far. Just got to keep pushing away. Okay, so into the second half of the race now. Comfortable ahead of Ocon Albon. And we're starting to see some splits between the group of cars behind us. So we have genuine top 10 pace here. Oh, don't go deep into turn 3 though, Alex. Quick squirt of ERS, we're safe. So Sainz is being passed by Ricciardo and Gasly as they carry on their merry way on the soft tyres, but we know they're going to be pitting soon. So we are essentially in a net P7, which we were when the safety car came out, so we haven't gained or lost anything, which is good. Hard tyres feel okay. I'm averaging about 4% wear a lap on all 4 tyres. And it's a pretty even spread, as you can see there, 13 to 14. So again, it's just a case of just keep nailing them sectors and seeing what happens towards the end. Okay, coming through the final corner, I'm adjusting my strategy just a little bit. Gasly's now in the pits. I'm only running rich mix along the first 2 straights, so this one and the one we're about to come into. And I'm just giving it a bit of a squirt of the ERS along both of these straights as well, to try and save our ERS, but more crucially to try and save a little bit of fuel if we can, because I'm starting to be a bit concerned about the fuel. We keep going at this current strategy, we're going to be in the minus in about 2 or 3 laps, and it seems to be working for us. So Gasly's now pitted and got out of the way, and I'll be expecting the same for Ricciardo. Other drivers you can see on the mini-map have also been in the last 20 or 30 seconds, so Nick De Vries is making a few positions up, good for him.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Yep, copy that, Jeff. 10 laps to go. We broke DRS there for the first time against Ocon. She might come under threat from Albon coming into the braking zone, which will help us because they'll be slow through that. Indeed, looks like Albon has managed to pass Ocon. Into a fighting. I'll be able to pull away a little bit here. I think Albon will get through. So for the last few laps here, Albon's going to be putting the pressure on us and dragging Ocon through. But again, very comfortable here in P7. And Sainz isn't exactly disappearing away into the distance. I'm managing the ERS and the fuel quite nicely now. Just not making any mistakes. And this will be a legit P7. No safety car has helped us really.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds.
So into lap 30 now, Albon is with us, and you can see on the delta time to the left hand side, Ocon is nearly 4 seconds behind Albon. So Ocon can't stay with Albon, and more importantly can't stay with my pace. So that's good, because it looks like then that when Ocon was in our slipstream, it was pretty much just, we were just helping, dragging him along. The gap between myself and Sainz is sort of stabilising around the 2.1 to 2.4, 2.5 marker. So it's all about now trying to defend from Albon. I haven't used rich mixed fuel in a few laps. I'm being very frugal with the ERS. Position our cars nicely, trying to get the braking points. Not long to go now. Could be looking good here for a P7. Albon is right up behind us. He's going up the inside. Going to play the smart game here. Try and stick with Albon now. Pull away from Ocon. Okay, it's working. I'm going super aggressive here to try and stay with Albon. You can see they're over 2 seconds ahead of Ocon now. That was a bit of a mess. We've been getting DRS, but we are getting low on ERS and on fuel as well. There's a yellow flag ahead of us. That might be one of the leaders, actually, because that's where they are. So we're about to reclaim that P7. That would be pretty cool if we did. Looks like a Red Bull's going slowly. I think Verstappen is out of the race. And our hard tyres are really starting to struggle now.
Caution.
Coming into the yellow flag zone, Verstappen is out of the race. No virtual or real safety car. So that's fine by me. Back into P7 then.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get
3 laps to go.
speed.
So 2 laps to go. We're now into potentially running out of fuels. I'll take a very weird line through turn 1.
There's only 1 lap of fuel.
We're still in the DRS range, but we're almost out of ERS, almost out of fuel. And we're catching Sainz as well now. I don't think we're catching by the end of the lap. But you can see where we get to Ocon. There's now just over 3 seconds, so we can probably ease off on the final lap. And secure this P7. I don't know, I might have a go at Albon actually. Oh, that was late. Oh my god. Oh, we've done it. Oh, I managed to get past Albon. Oh, fuck you, warning. Right, into the final lap.
This is your final lap.
Can we hold on to this P6? Actually going to have to save some fuel here just to get to the end. Tyres are starting to cry a little bit. He's coming up. Oh, we're going to have to hang around the outside. Ah, off the circuit. Boost everything. It's a run to the line. It's P6.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
So that was a mad last couple of laps. Cheesed it a little bit around the outside. Boosted everything to the line. And we just managed to stay ahead of Albon by, what was it in the end? 500ths of a second? So half a tenth of a second we managed to secure P6 from 10th on the grid. Definitely our most competitive race of the season so far. By far, you have to remember the points we picked up in Zandvoort and Spain were pretty much down to lucking our way into a better race strategy with the safety car. This one here was so close. If it had come out a lap later, I think I would have been back out on the circuit on another set of soft tyres or something, and we would have been further down the order. It caught out the likes of Gasly and Ricciardo. You can see we covered to 13th and 14th. That's where we would have been. But fortunately, it came out at just the right time for us and a lot of the people around us. I think pretty much everyone inside the top 10 to make the change from the softs onto the hard tyres. But Bottas has won the race. Also claims the fastest lap, so he gets maximum of 26 points, so 106.8. Leclerc and Vettel joining on the podium. Hamilton, Sainz in 5th, us in 6th for 108.3. You can see there were 108.048, I should say, is our fastest lap. It was 3 tenths quicker than Albon as well. Ocon was a little bit quicker. Norris and Kvyat round out the points. Outside of it, Giovinazzi, Perez, Gasly and Ricciardo after being found to be bad luck with the safety car. Magnussen in 15th, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Nick De Vries on debut finishes in 18th from the back of the field. He manages to finish ahead of George Russell, Latifi. Verstappen is classified but 4 laps down. Lance Stroll was the early-ish retirement that brought out the safety car. So as for standings, Hamilton has a 27-point lead over Vettel. Bottas now moves up into 3rd place after his win. We move all the way inside the top 10 with our 8 points that we claim for P6. Any other movers? Not really. Well, Nick De Vries goes ahead of Latifi by a better head-to-head result, so he's not last in the championship after one race. And of course, all the focus now will be on trying to get our activities done to make Nick De Vries a better driver. But yeah, 10th in the championship. In going into the second half of the shortened 16-race season with 20 points from 3 points finishes is not a bad first season so far. So in the constructors, there's a few changes. Mercedes have a 35-point lead over Ferrari, who in turn have a 35-point lead over Red Bull. McLaren looks safe in 4th. Renault move ahead of AlphaTauri into 5th, and we jump up ahead of both Alfa Romeo and Racing Point into 7th. But we can finish 7th in this constructors championship. I think that would be a really, really good season. Haas still stuck on 7 points and Williams still stuck on 0. So the rivalry breakdown, 4-2 against Ricciardo, getting that rivalry off to a nice little start. It's going to be difficult to beat him though in the long run, but we started well here at least. Team acclaim 16% for me, 12% for Nick De Vries, a 28 combined acclaim boost for the team. Gets us into level 11. And finally, the cash. We completed all of our free secondary sponsor bonuses. We gained just over $1 million there. A bit of damage deductions for me and Nick De Vries as well. Another 32.5. So we gained just over 1.1 million. Up to 6.23 now. Very nice, healthy amount indeed. So it looks like we've got about 10 days until the British Grand Prix, where I'm tempted to bring out a new livery. Basically, it'll still be green, white and black, but not like this one. But I think I'll save it for the Italian Grand Prix, at least, considering it is our team's home event. So we have an invitational event. We've got the general durability upgrade, or a general durability upgrade, I think, coming. The weekly resources, running costs, and then a couple of durability upgrades. So I have a look at the R&D to see what this general durability one is going to be. Please be Gearbox, 13th of July. It's power unit supply ultimate. All going to be power unit suppliers, aren't they? So the first one is going to arrive in the next few days. That will automatically be put onto the car. We don't have any gearbox. To improve the gearbox, we've got to be level. I think we've got to be level 3, and we know we've already got a couple of upgrades coming. You can see that the morale for the aerodynamic durability and chassis department is quite good. Had a few interview questions there from Claire at the end, which then went to be to boost the aerodynamic and the chassis department. But we have a couple of things here, the durability side coming in before the British Grand Prix. So we've only got 947 resource points, a bit low on that, good on cash but low on the resource points. So I'm not going to spend anything right now on upgrading anything, and just wait to see if these two pass or fail. If they pass, that's fine, we'll have over 1,000 resource points because we generate it every week. If they fail, we definitely have enough to get everything redone. As for facilities, we could probably look at maybe looking at personnel side of things. So 2 million, 1.5, 1 million, that's, what's that, 4.5 million to get the personnel department up a little bit. Second driver pace stat will slightly improve second driver's racecraft and awareness, and the analysis will slightly improve the second driver's experience stats. So we could do that. We'll have a look at what Nick De Vries is like at the moment anyway. So you can see he's level 69. We really need him to be up sort of around where at least where Latifi is, and he's a level 65 actually. Who's the next highest when it comes to F1 drivers? We've got a 72 there from Giovinazzi. That's probably it. Yeah, Giovinazzi will be the lowest at 72, so it's going to take a bit of a while to get up there. Right, okay, so activities. We'll look at some activities. Reaction training, awareness stat for Nick De Vries, so we'll definitely get that on the go. We've got a driver promotion filming. We might as well do that because we've got one. We can only fit in a day there between reaction training and the invitational event. Acclaim and resources. 100 acclaim for me. After this, we've got 5 days. So aero team building, second driver PR filming, sponsor event, fundraiser, durability equipment upgrade. Gain 30 resource points. Durability department goes up a little bit. We can't do these again, can we? Oh, no, sorry, hold on. That's what. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So we come back down to here. Aero team building. Second driver PR filming. Driver goes up by 500 a claim. Don't know if that's us. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, second driver. So that will be Nick DeVries. So we can get his acclaim up a little bit. Generate a bit of cash. Although 20k at this point when you've got $6.23 million doesn't really mean a lot. Sponsor event. The team acclaim goes up a little bit. Durability equipment upgrade. So we'll do a durability one. And then we can't do that. Okay, fair enough. We'll do the sponsor event. So there's quite a lot going on here. Facilities. I think we will look at the personnel department. Nothing else here really to look at just right now. Sponsorship we'll have a look at. Just see when these small ones are going to end. It's still going to be a couple of months, so that's fine. Okay, so we'll advance a few days. So reaction training, 1 awareness, drive promotion, filming 100 for Nick DeVries, $150,000 we get and 1,000 acclaim if we do the Japan Short Suzuka International Racing Course, whatever it is. I'm going to skip in advance. I'm not going to do any of these invitational events this season. I'm going to dabble away at them next season. So we'll advance. And here we go. We've got some upgrades. Yeah, okay, that looks okay. Oh, they're both on the car. That's good. Sponsor event, that's good as well. And now we can go to the British Grand Prix. So we gain nearly $1 million in that time. A couple of hundred extra resource points. Yeah, so have a look at the R&D tree for the durability side of things. Insufficient resource points. 1,200 is going to cost now. Holy fuck, it gets expensive over this side. Have a look at the chassis department. It's going to cost 550. And then probably a bit more than that as well. So I don't think we'll do any upgrades this time. Aerodynamic department 575. Powertrain, we know we've got that coming soon. We can't do anything else. Meanwhile, the ultimate upgrade has come in for the power unit supplier, so that pushes us up a little bit. R&D, obviously we've got the minor upgrade for the powertrain coming in. Progress history as well, that'll be updated once we go to Silverstone. So we'll have a look at Nick DeVries again, or contracts at least. So a 69 rated steel. You can see there his affinity has now gone up into 7 because of the promotional filming that he was doing. Driver perks though, how do we get driver perks? Can we do this yet? Oh, we can do this now. It's going to cost a couple of million to do. How can we get driver perks for Nick? Is there a way to get driver perks for Nick DeVries? I'm not too sure. What's the help button do? You'll have to renegotiate a driver's contract. Yeah, that's fine. Any money you pay above the base salary we spent. Okay, so we have to offer Nick DeVries a mental contract. Any money that you pay above the base salary will be spent by drivers on their perks. These benefit both the team and the driver. You can buy perks for yourself in the finance facility using your team's funds. Okay, right, so basically I think every time we offer him a new contract, we offer him a bit more. He saves up a couple of $100,000 and then he can spend it on something else over here. So our driver acclaim will be boosted by 25%, $570,000. Engine wear will be reduced by 20%. Unlock additional interview answers level 2, and resource point income boosted by 25%. Right, okay, so R&D screen, facilities, personnel. Let's get Nick DeVries sorted out a little bit. So second driver pay stat will slightly improve. We'll have a look. We'll see if this makes any changes straight away. So he's a 69 rating and he's gone up once since we've had him. So if we go back to the R&D screen, go to facilities, personnel. Right, here we go. Wallop. 21st of July. Yeah, it's going to be after Silverstone. Okay, that's fine. Tyre allocation, we'll do a softer one. We've got a message here. Development's completed. Good news for my friends at Renault. They've introduced a new upgrade package onto the power unit, so hopefully we'll notice some improvement in the next race. You can look at the upgrade details in the R&D screen. Okay. Have they done something else that I've missed? What have we got over here? Have we had one of these? Have we had one of these done? As well? I'm not too sure. We're pretty wank with the Renault engine, to be honest with you. I'm not too sure if we had an upgrade with the power unit, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we've got a little bit of wait time until the personnel department comes in. And now we've got the British Grand Prix. So between Britain and whatever race is next, which I don't know. I think we cancelled Hungary, so I'm not too sure what it will be. We might have a bit of a break. In fact, we can actually have a look. If we go to the season results, it'll be Belgium. So there will be a big break, I think, between Silverstone and Belgium, which hopefully should provide enough time to improve Nick De Vries' stats somewhat, get a bit more money in, maybe get a few resource R&D things done. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The next episode will be my home event, my personal home event, being British, as you can probably guess from my accent already. And it'll be round 10 of 16. So to summarise this episode, yeah, very good. Overall, really, practice, everything went well in practice. Loads and loads of resource points. Qualified for the first time inside of the top 10. Ran strongly. Boosted a little bit at the start, going up to turn 3. Remus Curve, I think it's called on that one, where it looks like it concertinaed up behind us. I did look at the incident screen underneath the safety car when I was checking what tyres people were on. It looks like that something happened further back and it sort of bumped into people further up, sort of like an accordion effect, I think that's the word I'm looking for, concertina effect, and we were the last car, which bumped us ahead of a couple of other cars, and we managed to stay there and cheese it against Albon at the end to claim P6. So overall, a very, very good episode. We're now going to focus on getting Nick De Vries a little bit better as well, try and upgrade some of the facilities, and at the same time try and have a bit of fun and put in some more competitive performances. So thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you all for the next one very soon.